everybody, welcome to Covers Corner Suburban Homestead. If you're new here, thanks for joining us. I'm Stephanie. We live on a 2-acre homestead we just purchased last fall with my husband Brett. We're still in a suburb sort of setting, but we're on 2 acres. Most of our lots around us are about the same size. If you're not new to the channel, thanks for joining us, guys. Appreciate you coming along and dealing with the ins and outs of things that have been going on, and I'm trying to get back into a schedule for filming, and so I can show you what's happening at the new place, as long as all of my equipment works. I've had issues with cameras and SD cards that are new, saying they're not formatted and that they're full, and so, but I'm back hopefully. So I want to take you guys on a quick tour. Well, it's not going to be quick probably. We've done a lot of changes since the last video. The weather's been back and forth. If you're from Maryland, you know, I mean, I think it's everywhere though. It's been back and forth with the weather, so I think we're finally over the hump. Hopefully, we're supposed to get rain, hit and miss the next couple of weeks, which is fine. But we're supposed to get warmer weather. Today is actually supposed to be 80, and I'm betting that it's getting pretty close to that. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the potager garden. Now, well, and some container gardening too. So there are gonna be changes even to this potager garden. We have plans for doing an addition and stuff like that. So as it sits right now is not necessarily the final design for our garden, either of the garden spaces. So here's one of the containers that we're doing. I just popped in some ginger. I just bought it from the store, let it sprout a little bit. It's been about, ooh, getting buzzed by the big bumblebees. It's been about 2 weeks since I put that in, so I haven't seen anything yet, but I'm sure it's probably coming. I'm hoping to get this video in before the neighbor's dog comes out and everybody starts barking, or you just never know. Anyway, so here's the green stalks. They're looking good. I did get 2 new green stalks, which I'll show you them closer up here. Now, this green stalk I've had lettuce. These were planted from starts. The spinach, hit and miss, and look at the peas. The peas are doing great. Kale, there's some kale down here. My thyme is coming back. I'm not sure. That's not thyme, but my thyme is coming back. More kale over here. Now this green stalk is on a mover. It's not as easy to spin it around, but I do try to rotate it every couple days so that all sides get like the equal sun, or as equal as I can get. So there's the other side. There's some more. This spinach is looking a little bit better. This one is primarily, well, it's all strawberries. Now we do have some empty pockets, but my plan is that when they come over the edge, to just kind of fill them in to the spots that might be empty. And if I see a good deal on some at the store, I might pick up some more. So that's going to be primarily, that one's going to be primarily, good heavens, strawberries, and so is this one. This is the leaf green stalk, and these ones are the originals. I have 3 originals and 2 of the leaves, and the difference is that these pockets are a little bit shallower, but this one is all strawberries also, or it will be. I still have to fill more in down here at the bottom. I'm just gonna get my shadow out of the way. Sometimes there's no good way to do that, guys. I try. And these 2 new ones here are on the spinners, and they move so easily. I love it. This one is also, and this is an original. It's got the deeper pockets. Got some marigolds in this one. This one I'm doing my like tiny, I got micro tomatoes, and I have micro orange hat, and I don't know if I have any of them in here yet. Yes, I got 1 in here, but I do have a couple more up there in the rest of my plants that are getting ready. They were kind of small. I didn't want to transplant them yet. But this is going to be mainly the micro tomatoes and some flowers. I'm not sure exactly what else I'm putting in there. We'll kind of have to wait and see. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. The artichokes are doing fantastic. Now, yes, I know it's a hot mess, guys, but this is the reality of it right now. We're still trying to figure out the watering situation. So there's hoses all over the place. The mower doesn't fit in here, but I did go and get, and I'll try to post a picture of it in the video. I got one of those manual push mowers to go in here. It's a workout, but it's kind of neat actually. So, you know, a little exercise, not have to be dependent on gas for it. Will not be using it for the rest of the yard though. We will be depending on gas for that. So this bed has, these are going to be bush beans, green beans. They are Great Lakes bush, I believe is what I put in here, or the tenderette. Tenderette is what we put in here. And then there's a little kale plant here that made it through everything. And if you remember, these are the, if you were with us at the old house, these are the stock tanks that we brought with us. We have 6 of them, and I love them. They work great. They're all supposed to be the same size, but they don't seem that way. Like, some of them seem wider than the other ones, and they're all supposed to be like 2 by 4, I think is what it was. And we bought them at different times, so I don't know what the deal is with that. But this bed has my peas that are looking really good. These are just going to be, these are the peas. Look at the dogs. They're going to fight over a stick. Like, we don't have enough sticks in the yard. They find one and fight over them. Anyway, these peas are the sugar snap peas, and these are going to be mainly for like stir fries and stuff. The same that are in that green stalk up there. I did plant some evergreen bunching onions from seeds in here. I do have a few weeds, but I'm going to wait till the onions come up just to make sure that I'm not pulling them. And then I still need to plant this out, but I think I'm going to do succession and do some more, that's a weed because nothing's planted there, onions in that area. This is my radish bed. No, we picked some from here, and I haven't sown anymore. And that's one of my goals this year, is to try to get better about the succession planting, to try to keep my beds full all the time. It's better for your beds if you do that, and I just like the idea of, you know, take advantage of this weather and while we have it. These are dragon tail rat tail. I can't remember now which one. Red rat tail radishes. So they will blossom, and it doesn't mean that they're done. They'll blossom, and then they'll form the seed pods. And the seed pods is actually the part that you eat off of these. And I'm not a huge radish person, but those are good. They're really, really good in stir fry, and they're good to just munch on out of the garden too. So these are we have some Japanese wasabi. That was a free seed from Baker Creek with one of my orders. So I was like, we'll give it a shot and put it in here. And in here is, we got one lone, let's see if we can see it. One lone watermelon radish coming up so far. I don't have a good luck with radishes, guys. I've tried radishes so many times and I get like 1 or 2. I don't know. They're supposed to be the easiest thing you can grow, and I struggle with them. So if you have any tips, let me know. The asparagus bed, this is only the 2nd year, so we have let it pretty much go. We picked a couple of them off when they were younger, just like 2 or 3, just as a treat out here in the garden. They were really, really good. So next year we should be able to harvest. And that bed has gone through, they started popping up and they were getting pretty tall, you know, pretty decent size, and then we got a cold snap and a frost and it wiped them out. They were mush, and I'm like, are they going to survive? Then they started coming back again, and then again another cold snap. But they keep coming back, so gotta give them credit. So next year we'll be able to harvest from there. Have some, this is the Little Gem lettuce. And these are the ones I'm going to try to let form a head. They get it's a little head that they get. I think they got just a little bit more to go. They're looking really good though. These Ice Queen lettuces I just sowed here on the 14th of. So you guys, I have to write on my tags. I don't know if you can see that. I write the date that I sowed them. Okay, I try to remember to do that because then I know. I also write it down inside, but sometimes you forget. But this is also the Ice Queen, and these I'm going to let form into heads. That's why they're spaced a little bit more apart, and these are just going to be rows of it. So, and I did remember to do those in succession. So, have some lemon balm and some more rosemary, some lavender. And you're going to see some really sad squash plants. This is one of them. It's a yellow squash, slick pick from Haas. So I had started them, I don't know, 4 months ago. Somewhere around there. I had started the seeds inside because everything I was seeing on the forecast was like, oh, you know, it's going to start warming up. So I was like, all right, I'll have time. I can put them out. And then we got some cold. Well, and then I was like, okay, I'll wait a little bit. And then they started getting too big and blossoming in the pot. So I'm like, well, I gotta put them outside. So it looked pretty decent. Again, put them out. A couple cold nights, not freezing, just cold, and wiped them out. And you're gonna see the other sad ones over here. I'll show you. It happens, you know. It is what it is. Got plenty of time left in the season to grow more. This was going to be my herb area, but I think that's going to be changing. We do have the herb bed over here from the old place. Kind of got some cilantro, looks like, coming up there. That is just self-seeded. The rosemary. We did plant, the girls and I planted some mammoth dill, but I don't see anything coming up yet there. Got some cilantro here that's just self-pollinated, and this is I think it was cilantro. Yes, I know I have to cut it back. It's moving homesteads, and like, okay, we didn't have animals, so I mean, we had our dogs, but we didn't have chickens at the old place, so it was just hard. We had to move gardens. Like, we had to take our gardens out of the old house because the people that bought our house didn't want the garden. So we had to dismantle all that stuff and it's just been kind of chaotic trying to rebuild the gardens, because for us, gardens are a big part of our homestead. There's some more dill that we planted here. So that one is germinating. Another thing I've learned too is we're in the same town, or same county, same city, but we're outside of the city limits as opposed to the last time our old house we were in the city limits. And the bugs are different here. Weird. And the temperature kind of shifts a little bit more than it did. And I don't know if it's a coincidence because of everything going on everywhere from what I'm understanding, or if it's just the difference in being here. So these I love this setup. I got these off of Amazon, the clips and the netting, actually all of it off of Amazon, and it works so well so far. We haven't had any problems with it. The wind doesn't blow them down, it doesn't blow it off like we had at the old place. We did use the what was it, agro cloth that's like the white. I'll show you some up there. Originally when we planted this stuff out, because it was still a little bit colder, but once the weather started shifting, I went over to the net so that they wouldn't be so hot in there, because they'll still, even though it's a breathable fabric, they still get really hot. But that was harder to keep on, and we used the PVC pipes, which worked great, but like we couldn't clip them on as well. So I found these and I love them. It's about $40 for the box of these. Are fiberglass with all the connectors, and you get these with it. And the mailman's coming. And they work great, so just ignore the dogs in the background. Shelby, you're a troublemaker. She instigates so bad. Okay, so let me show you what's in here. And this one, I have bok choy, or it's pak. Oh no, it's bok choy. I have both of them. I couldn't remember. My kohlrabi's looking good, and I thinned them all out. I'll probably go back and maybe thin a little bit more here. Harvest some of the bok choy and rutabagas. And I know they're kind of close together, but I'll go through and, like I said, thin them out. These are Brussels sprouts. So I know they're going to get taller. We did Brussels sprouts, tried to, I don't know if you remember from last year. We had them at the old house and they didn't survive the cabbage moth. Got them. But the nice thing about these poles is that we can actually even make this taller. So as the Brussels sprouts grow up, we can make it taller. So that's one, that was a big selling point for me on these. Also, I can adjust them, like once I clear out the bok choy in that, like I can make that bed a little bit smaller and put something in that end, or the cover I should say, a little bit smaller, and put something in that end that doesn't need to be covered, so I'm not losing that space. This is the oh, I can't think of the name of it, guys. It's that little bit thicker cloth, and it's still water and wind permeable, and the sun gets through it, but it does hold the heat a little bit more because it's not the mesh. So this is cabbages, and yep, you guys look how huge they are. All of these greens. This has been my first year also using rabbit manure to when I put these in. One of my husband's friends has rabbits that she raises for 4-H, and she sells them and stuff for meats and stuff like that. And she's like, "Do you guys need any rabbit manure?" Because she has a lot of rabbits and they produce a lot of manure. So we haven't established our rabbits yet. So we're like, yeah, sure, great. So she brings over like huge bags of manure, and it was so great. So I was able to, when I planted them, I put the rabbit manure in there, and they've gotten so, I have never had cabbages and Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, broccoli, anything grow as big as these guys have. It's exciting for me. I can't wait to see how they do. Even these, they're starting to form heads. I know it's kind of hard to see down through there, but I also don't want to try to take this off one-handed with the camera. I don't want to try to wrestle that off with one hand, so you just have to take my word. They're forming heads. Down at this end we have more kale, and look at, I mean, hopefully you guys can see it through there. We got red Russian, and then this is the dinosaur kale, and I have more dinosaur kale, or actually it's not the Nero Toscano kale. That, yeah, it's getting a little bit squished there, but again, just like the Brussels sprouts, I can pull this up and make it taller. You have to excuse the neighbor's dog, guys. Every time I come out, it seems like they let the dog out, but I don't know. These are more Brussels sprouts down on this end of this bed. Same deal. I can adjust this once this stuff is up, which is my broccoli. Look at that. This looks like it might be starting to bolt, so I think I might be picking these a little bit, because we went from hot to it's 80 degrees today. But I don't know if you can see down in there, like the heads of my broccolis. Let's see if they see this one. Right there. That's a good shot. And all of these have heads like that. And I mean, you can just look at the size of these plants. It's like they're massive. It's incredible. Let's see. I have cauliflower hiding down in there. Can you see it? Every one of these plants. And this front row has big heads. They'll be getting ready to be picked here probably soon, because it's going to start heating up really quick here. It's going to start heating up really quick here for us, and so I don't want to leave them out too long, and because they'll as hot as it gets as quickly, they don't really have a chance. Okay, so I'm going to show you something. Shelby, come here. I'm going to show you something that's kind of embarrassing, but not really, because it's Mother Nature, so it is what it is. My potato plants, they were all very nice and very pretty, and then we got, about a week ago, maybe a little bit less, we got like 40s for the temperature for like 3 nights, well, 30s, upper 30s, and it just wiped them out. But you can see there's plenty of green growth. They're gonna be just fine. There's plenty of growth coming back. You'll see the new leaves right there. So, and I have some beans coming up here. Some of my beans got wiped out because they had sprouted early. But we got plenty of time to replant beans. It's not a big deal. Yeah, so those potatoes will be fine. They'll pop back up. The empty spot down there at the end wasn't empty. I had to replant potatoes because an unnamed dog thought that the potatoes were hers to pull out. Now, normally we would be putting a fence around this, but because we don't know what's going to happen, we're holding off on putting a fence up, because more than likely we're going to have to move this garden space in a while. I mean, we're probably this growing season will be all right, but we'll have to see how things play out. So we're not going to put a fence up. We're just going to wing it. What happens, happens. So here's something else. These little cucumbers got hit also. But if you look at, it's coming back. There's green there. There's some green there. They look like crud, and it's okay. We have time. I'm not worried about it. I'll replant them here. If they don't, I'll give them a couple more days to see what happens, and I'll just stick more seeds in. It's not the end of the world. We have carrots in here popping up. This whole section here is carrots, and I'm thinking that this is some grass that's sneaking in. Yeah. I'm very careful about pulling up weeds in the area, because see, there's little carrots right there too. I don't want to pull them all up. And I know I'll need to go back and thin. I always have to thin out my carrots. I always put a little bit more than I should in there. Or than I need to in there. So, but yeah, those are carrots. They're looking pretty good. I'll wait till they get like quite a good size bigger before I go and thin them out. Are you hot, Shelby? Just trying to find shade over there. Okay. She's it's that lab coat. All right, we're gonna walk out here so you guys can see what I call the greenhouse garden, because even though I don't have the greenhouse there yet, we're working on it. If you've been following me on Instagram or Facebook, you'll see you've seen pictures of the progress and stuff. I also have to watch where I'm going, because I don't know what snakes are out. I'm assuming we have them. We have every other creature I've seen out here, so I'm just gonna hedge my bets and guess that there's snakes out here too. So, and I'm wearing sandals. All right, so this is the greenhouse garden. We're not worried about the aisleways yet. Our main objective was to get the beds in so we could get the food in. We just got these cattle panels up last night, just before it started pouring down rain. So I think I'm gonna plant them out tonight with I'm gonna plant tomatoes, guys. I've checked the forecast, and the nighttime temperatures all look high 40s, low 50s for the next however long. So I'm hoping that it holds true. But I can't, my tomatoes need to come out, so I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet. Down both sides of this bed, I have onions, and I love using the starts from Dixondale Farms. They're always very nice looking. onions. This is one of the first that plants, well, besides the broccoli and cauliflower, that we put in out here. And I'll be putting the tomatoes, because I'm doing a little experiment to see how they do. The tomatoes down the center here. I've heard someone talking about how the onions can help deter tomato pests. Oh, Lord. Okay, in this bed, all I have right now, if I can get out of the light, or so you're not seeing my shadow, I have peas all the way down. They look a little rough, but they're doing okay. You can see they're coming back. They're starting to trundle up. So I will be putting up netting down here, net trellis for them to climb up. This side is not planted out yet. I have plans for it. Holding off the weather. Yes, the dirt looks low in those boxes, but these are 12-inch boxes, so it's about 6 inches of soil, and that's all you need to grow in. That's all I've had at the other place, and you'll see one of the other new beds. That's how we did it here too. We just reused the materials that we had from taking the old garden apart that the new couple didn't want, so I'm not worried about it. Here's more onions down this side, and then I'll do more tomatoes here, and I'll have to look. I can't remember what I'm putting in here. There's nothing in there yet. This is one of our corn beds. This is what happens when you have kids helping you plant. You have some nice squares that are missed because I do the square foot. It doesn't matter. I don't care. That is the orchard baby corn. Is supposed to be just a short, almost like a half ear. I thought I'd try it, and it's supposed to be really good. The stalks don't get as high. I think it was 4 to 5 feet. It's from Baker Creek. First time growing it, so I'm excited about that. Let me go back up here. This is going to be our compost bins, or one set of them. We're going to modify it. Take center pieces out to make 3 larger bins. This Brett got for free from work, and there's another shorter one that we have up front that he got free also, that they were going to throw out, so we're like, yeah, we can use them. That is just a pile of the dead grass under there because we didn't want it to blow away, so that's going to go into compost also. This bed has nothing in it at the moment. And these are my leeks. So as you see, we get some shade. Now a lot of people don't like gardening in the shade or have any shade in their garden. One, I like to be able to step out of the sun sometimes when I'm out here working. We had a tree at the old house. I could grow tomatoes under it. I could grow everything. We grew tomatoes. If you look back at some of the videos from the old house, I grew tomatoes and peppers and beans, and my camera just shut off because it's overheating, and it's a GoPro. I thought these were supposed to be made for that, for being outside in extreme conditions. If anybody owns a GoPro, mine's a Hero 8, the black. I don't know if that makes a difference. Let me know if you have problems with this too, because like I said, it's one of the reasons I got it, because it's supposed to be able to be used outside in all conditions. But anyway, so at the old house we grew all kinds of things. We had trees on a couple sides of our garden, so at different times of the day it would be shaded, and we never had a problem growing vegetables or anything. So I mean, it's a little bit more annoying like if you have a maple tree. Now this is an oak tree. This is an oak tree. Oh, hopefully this film looks right, because when I'm looking at my viewfinder it's kind of red and yellow, and I'm thinking it's because it's hot. This is an oak tree. It doesn't have the helicopter things like the maple tree did at the maple trees, because we had several of them, did at the old house. So I'm thinking that we're not going to have quite as many problems with trees growing in the bed as we did there. We just have these little, let me see, these little parts of it, I'm not sure what they are, that fall in there. No, my luck, those are probably seeds. But whatever. I mean, we're going to trim down a couple more of these branches. Not too much, because like I said, I want the shade for when I'm out here too. So because my camera's acting up, I'm not going to walk around like all the beds here, because there's really not anything to see in them yet that you can't see from this angle. I have some Cherokee Trail-a-Tier beans and some pinto beans planted. I have a couple squash seeds. I have some watermelon seeds. I have sugar pie pumpkin seeds planted, but nothing has come up because they were literally just planted 4 days ago, so nothing has come up yet. But that's the beans are in those two back beds there. That area, I'll walk over there. That's going to be my greenhouse. And then it varies around is the other squash and pumpkin, and I have watermelon at this end. Hopefully by the end, well, not hopefully, by the end of this week I'll have tomatoes and stuff planted out here. I'll probably hold off on my peppers. So I'm going to show you from here the garden beds. These are 3 by 16 foot beds. If you'll notice, there's different heights because we worked with what we had. Those are 8, the 3 newer looking beds, those are new. Those are 8-inch tall, and these are 10-inch tall. But here's the thing, guys, you don't have to have fancy, you don't have to have new, you don't have to have 3 foot deep beds to grow. I mean, are they nice if you have back problems? Yeah, they are, but you got to think you have to fill that too. And you grow food just as easily in these size beds or in the ground as you do in the taller ones. We didn't choose the ground method here right now because we kind of have some clay that's not too deep down, and I don't know, I just like the look of the beds better for now. That might change, who knows. Behind me here is what is going to be the chicken coop and the run. Now here's what we're going to do too, is that we're going to build some chicken tractors. So during the nice weather, we can put them out in all of this area. It goes all the way up front. It's 85 feet wide, I think it is, or 83 foot wide, and 125 foot long, I believe is what it is. So we'll be able to move them around with no problem. People are like, why don't you just free range? Well, we have a ton of aerial predators around here. In fact, this oak tree, last fall, there was a nice big mama hawk sitting up there. She also likes to sit up in the top of the pine tree up there. And it's just not worth it. That's my job, is to protect my animals, all of them, my dogs and my livestock. So that is what we're going to do. They'll still be able to free range, just not, you know, without being in something for their protection. This will be covered so that we don't have the issue. And yes, we are going to go and fill, it'll be secure. We still have to work around the bottom of it. That'll be all wired in. We haven't done anything to it yet because the chicks are still little, but they're growing really fast. So that'll be changing quickly also. Lots to do, lots to do. This is going to be my greenhouse. It's 10 foot by 28 foot. And it's going to be a cattle panel greenhouse. I don't know if you've seen them before. If you watch Covers Homestead, that's actually kind of what we're doing. We're basing this off of that. Zach built one out and he did a video. Along this side, all the way down, I'm going to have a 2 or 3 foot. Guys, I'm not like, I have to see things laid out to determine size. These are 3 foot wide beds. I don't know that I need 3 foot wide in there. I'll probably do like a 2 foot wide in there. And then I'll have all along one side of it, then I'll have a workbench on the back side, and then that side will be storage and for seed starting. So I can have tables and stuff for my trays and stuff. So I don't have to, I can move it out of my kitchen. The dining room actually is where it's at. Back here, this is waiting to be mulched. That monstrosity that's fallen down is still waiting to be mulched. It's still alive. I don't know if you can see, but... And then we're going to turn this area back here into our berry patch for our blackberries and raspberries, our grapes, and our dwarf trees. We have peach and apple. We do have an apple and a pear over there, and I think the other tree is a peach. If you've seen the other videos, you see me talking about that. It's alive, but I'm gonna see how it does this season before I make a decision on it. We were gonna take and incorporate all of this, the pond and everything, into the chicken run, because we were gonna empty the pond, which houses a lot of frogs. We were gonna empty that and make it into a dust bath for the birds, but the ground isn't level, as you can see, like that. I don't know, well, maybe you can't see on the film. They have like little berms that they've built here for the grasses and stuff, and we were just concerned about being able to secure the run. So this is a high point of this part of the yard, up there where the barrels are. We'll walk over there, where that was where the first compost pile was that we had. That's a low part over here, and it gets really wet. That holds water, so we're kind of got them in the best place so that they don't get wet when it rains. And we have the potential to build out, you know, this space. We just need to make sure we leave room to get from the front to back here with supplies and stuff, and that won't be a problem. We have room on that side also. We have room along here. I'll come over here. I'll show you the pond, guys. And I think there's a frog sunning, or two, looks like. But I'm sure they'll disappear when I walk over here by them. They usually do. See, this is a nasty old little pond. Now, I've never owned a pond like this, so if anybody has, and has any ideas on how to keep it, or if we should bother keeping it clean, because the frogs, like, we had a lot of frogs in here last fall too. And I know that it's good to have them like in the garden space because they eat bugs, so we're not sure what we're doing in that space. This is a rabbit hutch that Brett picked up for free on Facebook. So on one of the groups we're in for a local area, they were giving it away, and we're like, yeah, we'll take it. It needs some work. We're gonna go, I think this opens up too, but I'm not gonna open it. They have a solid floor all the way through. I think what we're gonna do is separate it. So it's gonna take some work. But we have the general, you know, we'll have to rebuild it, but it's not a big deal. And then put some of the hardware cloth after it gets cleaned very well too, in place of these wooden floors, so that and put it up so they'll be elevated, but so that the poo and the urine and the manure and stuff can go through and not set on that floor. And obviously we don't want to put the screen in, leave it in this configuration, because then the poor rabbit on the bottom is going to get, I wouldn't want to be the rabbit on the bottom. We'll just leave it that way. And then we're going to have to build another cage also, because we're getting a trio, so you can't house them all together. But we're also looking to do the same concept with our rabbits as we're going to do with the chickens, and build a tractor for them to move around the area also during the nice months, so they won't be just stuck in a cage. This, I mean, you can tell, like, it's not in the best shape, but it was free, and it gives us at least something to start with, because we're due to get our rabbits soon from one of my friends, Shonda at Aspect Traditions Homestead. If you don't watch her YouTube channel, check her out. And what we're going to do is we're going to build a lean-to off of here. We have some roofing that Brett's gotten from work, and build a lean-to here so that they'll be protected from the wind and stuff. And we might make it so that it like rolls up for the summertime, and then we can lower it down for the winter so that they have shelter from the winds and stuff, like I said. This is the front side of the chicken coop. This shed was here when we bought the house. We are going to eventually, our plan is to get the same color red, that just so happened to be that color, as the big shed back there that we bought, and do this so that all three of our outbuildings match, but that's not a priority right now. So this space is, we're not sure what we're doing exactly up here yet. I don't know if you remember prior videos, we had all kinds of wood. You can see the bare spots in the ground stacked up from the old beds. So that's what we've used. There's the other bin over there, like the composting one that I said that we're gonna recycle that one also. And neighbor kids. And under here is a U-shaped bed that we're eventually going to get to tear it all out and try to get rid of the weeds in it, and probably put more strawberries in there because it's out of the way and it's a nice sunny spot. So over along here we're looking to do sunflowers and all just different. We're probably going to build a corner garden here for the flowers and then have it go down along, because it's a pain in the butt to mow. And no, we haven't mowed because our priority this weekend was getting the beds done. So our porch citrus trees are over there, and we got some rose bushes and apple trees and everything else over there that are like engulfed in grass, but they'll be fine. That's the goal tonight, is to get woo, wasps. We have a lot of them out. I'm getting attacked by wasps and I can't get the gate open. To get the lawn mowed, since it's gonna be nice weather tonight. Brett's gonna work on that. Brett's gonna work on that while I work on planting some of the plants I have out there. But anyway, so that's pretty much it. Around the garden and around the yard. Pretty much. I didn't take it in the back. Pear trees and stuff back there. But anyway, my battery's about to die on this camera. It doesn't like the heat, so I'm gonna take it inside and baby it. But anyway, guys, thanks for joining. Hope you like this video. If you like the content of this video, give it a thumbs up. It's Monday. Hit that subscribe button, like and share the video. It's the best way you can help our homestead. We are trying to grow it. I think just like every other person, my intentions for growing it though isn't so I can say, oh, I have this many viewers. It's so that I can reach more people that say, I don't have a farm. How can I do things for myself? I've said this a million times, I'm not an expert at anything, but I do like to share and teach people as much as I know. So, hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you on the next video.